Clay, Guida, before we get into fighting stuff, I saw you post about Ben Askren's wrestling match against Jordan Burroughs. What are your thoughts on that match? Were you surprised by how it went down?
No, it's exciting for the sport to have events like that, to have super matches like that, to have two former national champs, and one mixed martial artist, a UFC fighter versus a world champion, multiple-time world champion versus an Olympic champion, a gold medalist. So it's great for the sport. I didn't expect Ben to get teched, you know what I mean? It would have been cool to see him put up a point or at least get in a cool scramble, but it just shows you the levels that, what Jordan's doing every day, you know what I mean, is so different than what Ben is doing every day to become the world champion of the UFC. The wrestling and mixed martial arts are so very different, you know what I mean, so many different skill sets. It's just like, boxing and mixed martial arts to me are completely different, you know what I mean? So definitely good for the sport, but I think everyone expected, Jordan to do that. I would have liked to at least see one exciting scramble out of Funky Ben.
There are talks now about maybe Jordan being interested in fighting the UFC one day. How do you think that would? There are talks. Yeah, being in the UFC. What do you think he would do? How do you think he would do in the UFC if he ever comes?
I think that's awesome news. I didn't hear anything about that, but I think anything Jordan does, he does both feet in. He does 110%, and I know he's going to be successful at whatever he does. If it's mixed martial arts, whether it be coaching and grappling, I could see him being a top level grappler. Same with Ben Askren. That guy, I feel like he could go win, Pan Am's in Jiu-Jitsu or a World Championship in Jiu-Jitsu with just a couple years training. So I would love to see Jordan strap on the gloves.
Is that something you would be interested in do as well, like Ben to get in the big wrestling match?
Oh yeah, I was thinking about it. I watched it. I think about it yesterday. But those college wrestlers, they're on a way different level. It'd be fun just to go out there and wrestle with them and put it on the line for fun, for the love of the sport, for the growth of the sport of wrestling. You know what I mean? It's all about the kids and seeing the development of of wrestling continue to grow because they need big events like that, like they have at Madison Square Garden, like they've done in Chicago, Beat the Streets, Flow Wrestling, all these companies. Even track wrestling, they're all building the sport so quickly. That's what it needs to thrive.
Before we get on the fight itself, I've seen your social media that you've been fishing a lot. Is that something you like to do to get away from this crazy MMA world that everybody seems to hate each other and now you just get on a boat and relax?
Yeah, that's my step back. That's my getaway. That's my therapy. Away from the wrestling world, away from the mixed martial arts world. That's how I recover. And I'm getting a workout when I'm on my kayak too, you know what I mean? So it's good cardio and it's just fun to get out there and, be one with nature, be one with the water. And fishing's been pretty good in California. I can't wait to get back home and hook into some fish too.
How big and heavy is the biggest fish you ever caught?
Oh boy. Well, I just got my personal best a month ago with Chad Mendes, or maybe 6 weeks ago. I got a 78-inch sturgeon. And it was about 150 or 200 pounds. So it was about, I think it was taller than you, 78 inches. So it was too big to lift in the boat. And it was a big sturgeon.
I think I saw a picture. You just took a picture of him in the water.
Because it's illegal to take them out of the water when they're that big, and it was too strong anyway. So yeah, my biggest fish ever. It was basically a dinosaur. The guide said it was anywhere from 40 to 50 years old. So it was like a real life dinosaur.
Fishermen in Brazil are known for maybe creating stories of how big their fish were, but you seem to have proof that I gotta believe you.
Yeah, it was pretty close anyway. I wouldn't want to get in there and find out, because there's sharks in those waters too.
About the fight now, how surprised were you when the UFC called you to offering this fight against BJ here in Rio?
Yeah, I was totally blindsided and surprised and thankful, and we jumped at the opportunity. Not only because we know it's a great matchup for us, but because of the name, because of the iconic presence that BJ Penn brings to the fight, to the UFC, to mixed martial arts all around. He defeated my first coach in Joey Gilbert of Gilbert Grappling in their pro UFC debut. So I got to bring one back for Chicago and for Illinois wrestling.
Is that something you've been thinking a lot since those days? I would like to fight that guy because he did that to my coach, or just came to your mind now that UFC offered this fight?
Yeah, no, it's always been in the back of my mind that he beat up my first coach and one of my heroes, so I got to get a little revenge for the team in a positive light.
Yeah. You like the matchup because of that, but were you kind of surprised that he's sticking around after so many losses, his recent loss to Ryan Hall, is that kind of surprising for you?
Yeah, I did not expect them to call us, and I didn't even know he was going to be fighting, especially after I heard he may have gotten injured. And so, yeah, we always hope the best for BJ. He's always been great to us, to my family. We've always been big fans of his, big supporters, and I know he's going to continue to do great things in and out of the cage.
You and Ryan Hall are totally different fighters in terms of fighting styles and pace in the fight as well. And he was able to win the fight pretty quickly. Were you? Is that something you're looking forward to? Okay, with my style, with my pace in this fight, I'm gonna end this quickly.
Yeah, you know what? Ryan Hall is world level jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? I'm still a white belt or a green belt in jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? But we have a wrestler's kind of jiu-jitsu base, and our plan is to get in there and get out early. You know, get in there and put our hands on him, wear him down, and get on top, ground upon him, and you know, get our hand raised.
We already know what this win means for you in terms of your heart and your history and your coach. But what this win means for you in terms of rankings, in terms of your career going forward in this?
You know, a win over BJ Penn, you know, really puts you on another level. Maybe not in the ranking system right now. You know what I mean? Just because, you know, his drought, you know, in the win column, but. He's an icon in the sport, and you can never sleep on him. You can't overlook him. He's always dangerous. He's a big puncher. He's got some of the best submissions in the game still. So we're just going out there with one thought: get our hand raised and move on to the next one.
This is a business for you. You obviously want to get this win for you, but is it kind of sad seeing BJ go out like this with a long losing skid?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's a passing of the torch, if you will. You know, a guy that has done so much great things for the sport. He's taught so many, you know, jiu-jitsu. He's held numerous belts. He's beaten the best guys in the world. Yeah, he's been a multiple-time world champ. He's just done so many amazing things, you know, for mixed martial arts. So sometimes when it's time, it's time.
There were a lot of stories coming up over the few months about with accusations of him with the domestic violence and other crazy stuff. Does that kind of change the way you see him as a person or as a fighter?
No, it has nothing to do with me. You know, BJ and I have always been, you know, on good terms, and I hope they're all false, you know, but I don't get caught up in that. You know, I just stay focused on the task at hand, and that's BJ and I going out there and putting on a show, and I hope he's able to clear his mind and put that stuff aside so we can put the best competition on for the fans, because they're the ones that deserve it.
Before I let you go, I have to ask you about Chad Mendes, your friend and teammate. There was some talks that his last fight against Volkanovski would be his last, but he hasn't really came out to talk about it. Of course, it's his decision. He seemed to talk about it. But knowing him, do you think that was the last that we saw of him in the UFC?
Yeah, I've heard rumors, Ben. That's news to me, you know. But I don't think you've seen the last of Chad Mendes. He's too powerful, too strong, too quick, and he's too good of a champion. You know, and he's too talented. So I'm thinking after his baby he just had, you know, a week ago, I'm hoping we see him come back.
Maybe he has like Donald Cerrone, that he became a fighter and is now destroying everyone. Baby Chad Mendes does that too.
I hope so, man. Chad's fun to watch.